Page 20, fever. First line, look at the right hand, snap fingers. If you can snap fingers, I'm not here to teach you how to snap fingers. If you can't snap fingers, you can tap on something. We just need a noise, a percussive sound on the second and fourth beats of each of those measures except the last one. I'll demonstrate that a little later. Page 20, last line, second measure. See the grace note? Now, watch the rhythm in that measure, because the first two notes are dotted rhythms. They're short. The second 2/8 notes are even. They're not dotted rhythms, so it's this. So watch that rhythm there. Don't play them all jagged. That's not what's written. Now, on page 22, top of the page, there's a note there. Small notes are for verses 4 and 5. See, there's multiple verses on this thing. The words for them are at the bottom of page 23 if you want to sing along. The idea is you're trying to play a note on the piano for each syllable or whatever in the words. Well, when you do verse 3, which is the first time you play page 22, in the right hand, it's a rest on the first beat, so you don't play anything. Then when you repeat it, you're doing verse 4, and possibly 5. There's words or syllables of words that go on that first beat. So you play those little notes when you repeat it. And we'll do that when we play it together. First time we're going to play a rest, but then when we repeat it, we're going to play those little notes, just like they've got going. That's very common in music. Usually you don't get a little note that says small notes or for those. They just do it and you're expected to know that's what it's about. Over on page 23, look at the third line down, second measure. It's just a simple dotted rhythm except for the last beat. So you've got that. Put a fourth finger on that E flat. It's important. Then that A, which you play it, that stays down for the whole last line. It's all tied together. You don't play it again. You just hold it down. And as you're doing that, listen to it. Make sure your left hand is fading away with it. Okay, keep them together. We went through this on the Mariah thing, I think. So it's the same thing. Speaking of the left hand, this has an important part similar to the Mariah theme where it had that theme throughout. Well, this has another theme throughout, and it sort of keeps it going, and it's all staccato. There's no pedal in this at all because it'll mess up the staccato, but it's that. And that bouncy feeling, boom. I'm sort of using a light arm staccato. I could do that. Do that, but I like to play with it. So I'm bouncing. The whole arm is kind of going up and down gently. The right hand is not staccato, so you've got the two going against each other. In the second line there on page 20, it's that. Okay, so the left hand staccato, the right hand isn't. You gotta balance those out. The only other thing I can think of for the left hand is there's a note at the beginning, at the very first line. It says important. Well, it is. And that is that the whole left hand throughout the whole piece has to be played an octave lower. Otherwise, the hands get in each other's way. So rather than here, do the whole thing an octave lower. Whatever it is. The only note I see in the left hand that is not staccato is the last measure on page 23, the very last note. I'm going to hold it down for 8 counts. It's a whole note with a fermata. And that's really about all I have for this. Now to demonstrate that first line for you, I'm going to try and snap my fingers on beats 2 and 4 so you get something like that. And then you start and end with you got to get your hand, you can snap close to the keyboard if you want to, but just make sure you get your right hand down there so you got. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot to say in here. We are going to take the repeat on page 21, the first and second endings. So we're going to go back to the reverse repeat time. We're going to take the repeat on page 23 one time. I'm not repeating more than once. So we go back to the top of page 22 and they go on. Then we'll finish it. Now we'll do pages 20 and 21, then we'll stop, turn the page, and then I'll count us in again. We do pages 22 and 23. Now you need to learn this first before trying it with me. If you have to do it one hand, that's great. Do it one hand with me for a while if you need to. Left hand where it goes. Right hand's ready to snap. I'll give us 4 counts. I put the metronome on 70. I hope that's not too fast, but let's try it out and see. 1, 2, ready, go. Repeat. Turn the page, and we do take the repeat now, remember, one time. Hands here and here, okay. 1, 2, ready, go. Repeat. 5, 6, 7, 8, off.